Hey guys, welcome to Tyson's Fitness Tips podcast. If you want to lose weight, increase your energy, improve your health and fitness, and look your best, then you have come to the right place. My name is Tyson Brown. I'm a personal trainer, and my job is to help you transform your body by sharing with you the most up-to-date information on health and fitness. I'm going to distill it all down for you into bite-sized actionable steps that you can take immediately to see results quickly. Now, every Tuesday and Thursday, you can expect a brand new episode, which will be a mixture of interviews with top experts from around the world in the fitness space, and as well as solo episodes from myself, sharing with you exactly what action steps you need to take to transform your health, your body, and your life.
And that means you are going to get information from all different areas in regards to mindset, nutrition, fitness, things you wouldn't even think that are associated with your health and fitness, but are going to blow your mind. So let's get into the episode. Hey, before we get into the episode, I just want to let you know my brand new book, Ditch the Diet, has just come out and I'm giving away a couple of free copies. So if you want to go into the draw to win a free copy, all you have to do is share this podcast on your Instagram. All you have to do is click the share button, go to Instagram, put it in your stories, and then tag at Tyson the Trainer, and you'll go in the running. All winners will get the free copy of my book sent straight to your door, and I'm telling you, this book will be a game changer. So that's, once again, all you have to do is make sure that you take a screenshot, you share this, and you tag me on Instagram, and you will go into the running. All right, let's get into the episode.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Tyson's Fitness Tips. Now, I've already done one podcast today with Xander Fryer, who you guys heard earlier, and now I get to do another podcast with someone who's got one of my most favourite accents in the world right now. So, this special guest, Casey, I actually only got to meet her a couple of weeks ago, and it was over Instagram, wasn't it?
Yeah, Instagram.
Yeah, and we got on the phone. She's a ball of energy. I'm like, she's going to be fucking perfect for the podcast. We both love talking. Casey is an expert in nutrition, which is why I wanted to bring her on. So, Casey, thank you so much for coming on today.
Everything's great. I'm so happy to finally meet you. And literally, I just think you're so fabulous.
Yeah.
And I just love everything that this day is all about. I'm so happy you're here in the U.S. with us. I mean, this is just going to be great. It's a couple days. But most importantly, this is going to be a great show.
Oh, man, it's going to be so good. Especially, because we were trying to think about what are we going to talk about today. But the topic kind of just came out of nowhere because of what we were actually talking about during lunch earlier on, right? So I was like, what are we going to talk about? And we're like, bang, that's exactly what we can go on.
And you know what that was? All about we need to know what we eat and how much we eat.
Yeah.
Because women don't track enough and they don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's just everyone in general.
Yeah.
Like you were talking to me earlier about how you competed for a while, right?
Yep.
Before you competed, did you ever track your food at all?
Never track my
Never.
food.
Okay, so that's a good thing. I want to know, because a lot of people, if I'm like, hey, what does 100 grams of chicken look like, or 1 ounce of chicken look like? People have no idea, right? If I gave something to you, if I gave something to the normal person, they'd be like, oh, maybe they'd always underestimate compared to overestimate, right?
Yep.
And that's why we can't lose weight, because we're eating so much food, we don't think we're eating a lot.
Yeah. A lot of times it's so crazy, Tyson, is when people actually start to track their food and they're wondering why they're not losing weight. Well, most people are, like you said, they're under eating. And so if they're under eating, then their metabolism actually can't burn efficiently the way that they want it, desire it to. So it's down regulated, right? So their body is literally, energy machine is shut down. So how do we turn the energy machine back on? We have to give it energy in order to burn energy.
Yeah.
So when we teach them that, and we actually get people learning and understanding the basic foundations of food, which is knowing the amounts, that's when the magic happens and they realize, oh my gosh, I had no idea I was barely eating to even have energy through my activities of daily living.
It's funny you say that, because I used to think a lot of women had this problem, which they do, but I've had guys who are over 100 kilos come to me and they're like, oh, I'm eating 1,200 calories a day. I'm like, surely not. But then when they've tracked it and they've showed me, I'm like, wow, you are severely under eating. If you are over 200 pounds and you're eating 1,200 calories a day, you've got a very big problem going on. So people are just in this restriction, this crazy restriction
I don't know what it is, like just stigma at the moment where people are just cutting down everything and they think as long as I eat healthy, it's okay.
100%. And the worst part about it is they listen to the fad diets and the challenges out there that are saying, hey, all y'all just need to eat 1,200 calories. But in the whole big perspective, Tyson, every single person's body is different. And not everybody needs to eat 1,200 calories to lose weight. That's not everybody's caloric deficit. So when everybody's listening to the same cookie cutter information, they're actually doing a lot more damage to their body than they're actually doing good for their body.
Yeah, for sure. And like, it's not just the metabolism slowing down, it's like thyroid, hormones, like a whole bunch of other shit that is very hard to repair too. Like if you go down that hill, it's very, very hard to get back up.
Oh, 100%. I can't tell you the amount of women and men that I work with that are massively overweight, but then they have no sex drive, or they have horrible skin, or they absolutely have insomnia. They can't actually sleep at night because they have no energy to actually go to sleep. So when you actually come in and you see all these problems that are stemmed from food, you have to start that repair from the inside out. And you know what the worst part about it is? Time. People don't have patience, and they don't want to take the time to actually repair their body. That the only way they do is because they start to feel better. And once they start seeing those results, then they desire it and they want it. But people have to see it to believe it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's funny you say like time, because we live in a world of instant gratification at the moment, right? You can Uber Eats, you see these 2-week transformations on Instagram, all this shit. But it's like, look, in order to like repair or even just to get good results to be able to keep, it's gonna take a lot of time. Like you can't live in this world of instant gratification right now.
No, because that instant gratification, guess what? That actually takes you down a road of destruction. And then where's the instant gratification come from? Because at the end of the day, we can't enjoy all these instant gratifications like the Ubers and the meal deliveries and going places and getting cheap flights here and there and Airbnbs. We can't enjoy all these life luxuries if we don't have our health, because our health is our greatest wealth.
Absolutely. It's funny you say that, because like I said, if you can't enjoy those things, like, you know, you get that instant gratification. Let's say you lose the weight, great. You lose it, how long do you maintain it for? Not very long, because you've done such strict parameters to get there. And of course, it's not sustainable in the long run, which is why I think it's 95 or 99% of people regain weight when they lose it. And is it really worth all that for a couple of weeks of feeling good, but then going back off the bandwagon, then, like I said, not being able to enjoy yourself with friends and family or any of those things because you think you're going to blow up like a balloon again?
It really hurts so many people. They get that weight off, or they're looking for a vacation, a wedding, or whatnot, Tyson, or they just want to get a caloric deficit because they're searching this body image that they feel that they have to have because of the media. And shame on the media for making women and men feel they have to look a certain way, because it ends up actually destroying them more. So they try these challenges, they think the weight's off, but then it comes back on, and then they're wondering, what do I do? So then now we have a society of defeated, very, very impersonal, and very imperfect, and very, very unconscious humans, because they don't know what to do. They're just broken by society and told that they have to do this to look this way, but they have actually no idea how to have sustainable health, and that is the most important of all, is to have sustainable health.
Yeah, it's like you don't want to look at this in the next, 6 or 12 months. You want to look at this like 30 years down the road. I always treat, I say to my clients, look, I don't want you to rely on me for the rest of your life. I want you to have the habits in place. So 20 years down the line, whatever you achieve, you can keep going with it. Like, you might only lose a couple of kilos when you work with me, but if you can keep losing weight in the time and then keep it off, that's the most important thing. Like, this is a lifelong journey of health and fitness.
Yes, and people today, it's almost like, Tyson, they need to get so broken that they have no choice but to go back up. And a lot of people need that right now because of the society that we live in. So when people get broken and you actually educate, because the problem is there's a lot of misinformation out there. But once they're actually told, hey, I'm actually helping you for the rest of your life. I'm giving you the tools to break you free from the dogmatic challenges and cleanses and allowing you to live your best life in the body that you desire. That is the game changer. And so people just need to be educated, because like you and I know, people, they just don't know, and they're just innocent trying to look good, and the cleanses and the diets and the poor coaches are just literally stealing their money, and it's awful.
It is really shocking. Like, I actually had someone reach out to me the other day, and he said, hey, like, what's the best liver cleanse detox, what's the best liver cleanse tea at the moment? I'm like, you don't need any of that stuff. And I'm like, he's like, look, I've had a bad couple of weeks, I've been drinking it in your bad. I'm like, okay, so now you can eat well, and now you can cut out the alcohol, and that's all you need to do. Let your liver, let your body take care of the rest. Like, don't go and spend this money on a detox tea, because it's literally not going to do anything for you.
No, and that's what people, they see all these fads, and it's not going to do anything for them at all. They want to do cleanses and diets and challenges, and they don't realize that their health, like I said, is their wealth, and if they don't have the right education, then they're not going to have the sustainable lifestyle that they desire.
Exactly right. And so how do you go about the education process, like trying to get people on that long-term journey? Because we are, like you said, we're surrounded by short-term quick fixes all the time. And how do we start to try and make that switch?
To make that switch, Tyson, you really have to get into people's mindsets and really have to get into their emotions. Really make them honestly feel their pain, because we are so numbed out by society, because it's always the next best thing to put the Band-Aid on the solution, right? Everyone's just trying to solve problems, and no one's trying to be solution providers. And us as health coaches and nutrition coaches and personal trainers, we're here to give problems. We're here to give, we're solution providers.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So in order to do that, it's sitting them down, finding their pain points, and then bringing them from the hell that they're living in and showing them that heaven that they want, and bringing them down that road, showing them, hey, this is exactly what we're going to do first, second, and now third to do X, Y, and Z. So they can see the plan laid out. They're much more apt to give it a shot rather than just giving an empty promise. If they know that there's a system behind it, most people are more than willing to get out of that hell they're living in to reach their heaven, but they have to be told how to do it.
Yep. And the thing is, like, I think us as trainers have got to do better jobs of being able to paint that picture, because at the moment, like, where the money's going, it's going to detox teas, it's going to things like that, because they're painting a better picture in the short term, which is like, oh, people are like, I want to see these results now, and that's why people are handing over money. But if they're like, if you can paint a more clear picture for someone, be like, hey, look, you might get this in the next 6 months, but in the next 3 years, if you can see yourself going down this road, when people can start to envision what that's going to look like, they're more inclined to start working with you and get the results they actually need, as opposed to want that instant gratification.
100%. It's so important for them to really see that full picture, because if they don't see the full picture, they're not going to go for it, Tyson. Like, people need to know, they need to be seen testimonials. They need to have a know, like, and trust factor. If they don't have the know, like, and trust factor, then why would they buy it? Why are they going to spend their money? Because when people are buying, they're not buying the actual product, they're buying the person. So if we can do a better job as health professionals in showing them that and actually delivering those results by showing them testimonies, showing them exactly that roadmap, what that's going to look like for them, and the end result is they're going to buy, because they're going to trust you, because you know exactly what you're talking about. You have to create that authority so that they know they can trust you.
Absolutely. In saying that, though, like, when it comes to testimonials, I think a big important thing to look for, if you are someone who's looking for a trainer or looking, whatever you're looking at, like, have a look at how long how long that transformation was.
Yes.
But also, I think a good thing to do is do a little bit deeper searching. Like, you can ask, hey, excuse me, like, in that testimony, like, when was that photo taken? Where's the person at now? Because, like, I could be like, hey, check out Greg, he lost 12 kilos in 3 weeks. But, like, has Greg kept that off, or has he put it back on? So if you can find out the truth from someone who you want to work with, they need to be transparent with you. And if you can say, if he's like, hey, he's still been able to keep it off 2 years, you're like, okay, this is a great person to work with.
And that's a thing that is missing in the transformations, which I absolutely cannot stand, honestly, Tyson, is when you see all these photos on Instagram when I see people losing weight in 3 weeks, it really, really hurts women and men's emotions that are so vulnerable and just wanting to lose that weight. They don't see, like, where's the 90, so they do a 90-day challenge, but where are they 90 days later? So I call it the 90 after 90. Where are they really at? So trainers and coaches actually showed where the client started, where they were at after 90 days, and where they were 90 days later. That's the key, and that's what's really going to help bring reality into this world of media that's really dissolving and really hurting people's emotions.
That's actually a really good point. I think I've kind of been doing that with my clients. Like, I've had a couple of clients who've been with me for over 3 years, and I've shown, and I'm like, hey, this is actually a photo too. Like, he lost, I had a client who lost 10 kilos. It took him 18 months to do, but 6 months later, like, it's now been 2 years, he still kept that weight off. So yes, it was slower progress, but he's been able to keep it off. And I like showing people, like, hey, this is the long-term game. You've got to put in the effort to be able to achieve stuff.
100%. And if you're not putting in the effort, then guess what? You're going to continue to go down that same hamster wheel over and over and over again, and you're never going to get to those results that you desire. And that's when we all know that weight loss, it's simple, but it's not easy.
Yeah.
And so once we can actually communicate that and really show them the action steps, that's when the success is going to happen.
Absolutely. And so, like, I actually talked to Xander about this earlier, and I think this is really important. Like, all the information is out there, right? Like, you can, like, there are a lot of people who can go down the road by themselves and achieve a certain result, but some people, they just don't take the action, right? And it's because I personally will see better results if I put skin in the game. Like, me as a trainer, I have business coaches, and I would not achieve the success I have as a personal trainer if I didn't put skin in the game to actually pay someone to help me out. Yeah. So Do you have the same, like, do you think the same thing when it comes to getting results?
100%. I would never ask my clients to invest in me an
Yep.
amount of money or time and effort that I don't already invest in. So I work with 3 different business coaches to really help elevate not just me as a business professional, but also my nutrition coaching game. So if I can't do the investment, how can I ask my clients to invest in me if I don't invest in myself?
Absolutely. It's fun. It's funny you say that because at the moment I'm going through a weight loss phase because I've got to do a photo of my book, and I went and hired a coach. And I said, I'm like to my clients, I'm like, hey, look, I could do this myself, but if I have someone else there to keep me accountable, to just take care of it, because honestly, it takes a lot of work to create nutrition programs, workout programs, and stuff like that. So if you have somebody else on the back end who says, hey, this is what we're going to be working on, they can take care of it, it takes the burden off you, but at the same time, you've now got to be accountable to someone. And if you don't want to let someone down, you're more likely to stay on track.
100%, and that's why it's so important for that success, and that's why we are in a space right now in our, literally, not just society, but our world, where health coaches are needed more than ever, and that's why it's time to show up and help out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I just keep saying absolutely because everything you're saying is just resonating so much, and people we hear this all the time, but it's implement, go and do something about it. Stop looking for the quick fixes and it doesn't matter how many times you fail. If you failed 3 or 4 times, get back up, try again, but don't look for the short-term results. Look for something longer. If you keep failing on these 12-week challenges, or if you keep failing on these detox teas, how about you try and say, you know what, maybe this isn't working for me, let me try something different, let me try a long-term approach and see if that's going to make a difference for me.
100%, because like you said, you never know unless you try, and it all comes down to the education, and that's what we have to do on the forefront, is really leaders create leaders, and we have to go out there and stand up and be the voice that these innocent people need to hear in order to have sustainability.
Yes. So one thing that I want to say is, when it comes to that, when you're looking for someone to educate you on something, the first thing I would suggest is that you don't look at any celebrities, right? Because celebrities
Correct.
don't know shit.
No.
And it's so funny because I actually saw on a magazine the other day, it's there was some celebrity, she lost 9 kilos in 12 weeks. And I'm like, you don't want to do that. You don't want to follow whatever she followed. That's fucking the worst advice ever. And so, if you would say to someone who's looking to find out if they're following someone on Instagram, they want to make sure this person's credible, what do you recommend they do? Should they look at certifications they got? Should they, what's the best thing do you think?
In order, so they see a Instagram profile, and they see
Yep.
a lot of success right, with the testimonies. I'd reach out. I'd honestly, first I Google. I always just Google the person. Then
Yep.
you look on Facebook, Google them, Instagram them, and if everything's still coming out clean, wow, this might look too good to be true. All these transformations really in 90 days. Then I actually reach out to have a consultation with them, and then I actually talk with them through, and I want to hear from them. What is their transformation like? Can I see any more work from them? You really want to do your due diligence and your homework, and not just base everything off a cover, because it's everyone's highlight reel on Instagram and Facebook. Unfortunately, not enough trainers and coaches out there actually are showing their real lives and their ups and their downs. They're just showing all the highlights. So you have to really dig deep. If you really want to have that coach that you see all these perfect transformations, you got to dig deep, and you got to contact him, because honestly, if it's too good to be true, more than likely it's too good to be true.
It's funny you say that. It's everyone on Instagram is attractive. It's a 10 out of 10 model type of thing, I'm wow. And then that's the same thing when it comes back to it starts to make you put false perceptions into your head, because you're oh my God, I got a pimple, or I got a zit, or whatever it is, because you're seeing all this perfect stuff on Instagram.
Yeah.
But it's, like you said, it's the highlight reel. And that's you've got to be able to kind of look at it logically, as opposed to always having it play on your emotions, because images are powerful. Seeing these transformations, that's what makes you want to start taking action and invest in whatever people are doing these days. So you've got to kind of take a step back and not get caught up in that Instagram highlight reel, like you said.
Yeah, and when you get your actual due diligence done, you'll be surprised at how many trainers you're going to see out there that actually aren't getting those results. They're just using it as a highlight reel to then bring in some other clients, charge them, take their money, and put them in a worse off position. So it's so important that you do your due diligence. It's so, so, so important. And that way, you're not going to get burned and hurt in the long run.
I think you said a really going back to the point before. If you're seeing all these 90-day transformations, ask for the next 90. Say, hey, where are these people now? Have they still kept the weight off? Can I speak? I've had one of my clients come on the Instagram for me and say, hey, if anyone wants to speak to me, if anyone wants to message me and ask me questions, do it. Because if you can chat to someone who's actually worked with, let's say if you've worked with Casey before, and I can chat to one of your clients, how much more sold are you on Casey, first of all? And then you can actually also find out more about the process, because like if I was asking you a question, yeah, you could be telling me as much, but like getting it from a client who's actually worked with you is worth its weight in gold.
100%. And that's why, I mean, I even started my Casey Tom's transformation page on Instagram.
Yep.
That's just clients that have been on there that they allow that I've asked permission if people can contact them, just so they can have that like like and trust factor from people. They can contact any single one of them and ask them questions. And that should be a red flag for you, that if you're contacting a coach and you're asking if you can like speak with the testimony and they don't give you a yes answer, that's a red flag, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if you're not going to promote your clientele to speak with a potential new client, that says something.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny to say, like, you should be like
very proud.
Yeah, you should be. That's what I was about to say. Like, you should be able to say, of course, I'll like recommend you. Like, you got to speak to this person, this person, this person. Like, I can guarantee you, anybody you talk to, my clients right now, would be 100% satisfied. Yep. And it's just because like I take pride in what I do, and I know that the results are paying off.
Yep.
And you've just got just do that digging. Don't just get sold on the photo or sold on what it is. Like, spend a little bit more time, just do a little bit of research, make sure this is the person who you want to work with.
100%. And when you do that, you're going to be so much happier.
Yeah. And so going back to what we were talking about before about like, like people, they're slowing down metabolism and things like that. How do they actually know, like what we talked about before, like how do they know if they're actually under eating? Like, should they start tracking first, or what do you always recommend?
So I always, for people first, we do like an intake, right, to just see exactly where they're at. So we see like what their body weight is, like what their activity is like, what I call their feedback factors like, what's their sleep levels like, what's their energy levels like, what's their mood like, and then I have them track for 5 days, just like if they've never tracked, and we see, okay, what does their caloric intake look like, and is it matching what their biofeedback is saying? So they're having low energy, low sex drive, they're not able to sleep, they're not able to recover well from workouts. And then we see their calories, and they're under eating, but they'll say they're taking like 1,100 calories, but they're expending over 2,000. Of course, all that matches their biofeedback. And if they want to lose weight and the scale's not moving, it's actually going up, that's when you know, okay, this person is in a massive caloric deficit. Their metabolism and their thyroid and their adrenal glands, everything's being completely compromised. That's when you say, okay, we have to put you through a reverse diet. We need to increase your calories to get your metabolism working again. So in order to set that for a client, you have to know what their biofeedback factors are. You have to know what their caloric expenditure is and what their caloric intake is. Then from there, you can make the best educated decision based on that information to at least have a starting point for that client.
Okay, cool. So if I wasn't working with you and I was just a person who was kind of doing this myself, what if I went online, just looked at a general weight loss calculator, and it told me I was supposed to be eating 2,000 calories a day, but I'm eating 1,100 calories and I'm not losing weight? Is that kind of a bit of an indicator where I'm like, okay, maybe there could be something wrong here? And then also looking at the biofeedback that you said before,
yes,
could that be a bit of an indication, like if someone went down the path by themselves?
Yes, and then you wouldn't want that. You wouldn't want to go all of a sudden eat 2,000 calories, because then your body's not going to know what to do with all that energy.
Yeah.
So then it's going to start to store it even more as body fat, because it's going to be on an energy intake overload. So it's not going to know how to expend all that. So if you see that and you're like you see that and you go online and you're like, wow, I'm 900 calories short. Don't go eat all 900 calories. Slowly build yourself up to that ability to eat it, and you want to get that hunger response back. And you want to increase all those biofeedback factors, so your body can actually work for you and not against you.
And it's funny you say that, because our mutual friend, was just going through this similar thing, and they started increasing their calorie intake and they started losing weight, right? Yeah. But it was very, very slow. They didn't go fast. They didn't go from eating whatever that person was eating, like, and crank it back up. They just made it very, very small adjustments over time, because, like you said, this is a long-term game. And you might, you might have to put the next 6 and 8 months and you might not see that scale move at all, but if you know you're going on the right track and all of a sudden you're able to eat 2,000 calories and you can still maintain your body weight, that's when you know you're aiming in the right direction.
And that's when you're winning. And that's like, you know what, Tyson, is like the craziest thing is like people come and they think, okay, weight loss, I'm going to lose this weight in like a month or 2 months. Like that's what their thought process is, right? Then you have to bring them down to reality check. You have to let them know, hey, you did not put that weight on in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. So how can you honestly expect that you're going to lose that weight in that short amount of time when it took you months and years? So when I tell clients that come to me and they want weight loss, I let them know, listen, this is not a 100-meter dash. This is more of like a 1,600-meter run.
Yep.
This is going to take, most of my weight loss clients, it's minimum a year to get them to their goal. Minimum, just to get them to their goal and allow them to sustain it. So I tell them, if you're not in this and you're not committed with your mindset for the long haul journey, then you're not ready to lose weight. If your mindset's not there, Tyson, you're not ready to lose weight.
So true. And it's funny you say that because you have a similar approach to me. I don't do a year, but I say, look, mate, there's no, like, I don't do 90-day programs or anything like that, because like we talk about building long-term habits that are going to be sustainable. Like, whether you achieve a goal with me or not, my point is to have you going through this for the rest of your life, so you have the knowledge and the power to do this for yourself too.
100%. Could not agree with you more.
Because you can't be relying on transformation challenges like, every couple of months, or relying on a trainer for the rest of your life. Like, at some point you have to take your own responsibility for your health and fitness, and if you hire a trainer who's put you in the right education process, or a nutrition coach, you should be able to maintain that like for life, or know the steps you need to take to do that. So whether you do put on weight or not, it's a conscious decision that you've actually made for yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to own that, and if you're not ready to do it, then you're not ready for weight loss.
Yeah.
And that's hard for people to swallow. But I mean, you got to be brutally honest. There's glass walls with me. I've told many, many people, you're just not ready.
Yeah.
And that hurts, that stings. But at the end of the day, it's reality. And if you're not 100% there, Tyson, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
If you don't have both feet in the game, it's not going to work.
And it's funny, like, if you're not ready for weight loss, like, okay, but you've got, like you said, you've got to admit it, because if you're lying to yourself, that's going to be a really big problem. Because if you're like, I want to lose weight, but if you don't have a reason why, or if you're like, oh, because my friends say I should lose weight, then it's like, look, you don't really want to lose weight. You want to do it because someone else wants to do it, but you love food, or you love just like going through this endless seesaw or whatever. Like, you love the instant gratification. You actually don't want to put in the work in the process to be able to maintain what you want either.
Yep, and that's when you really know, like, what's their integrity? What do they really want?
Yeah.
So that's huge. It's so huge to just really be completely upfront and honest with them. Like you and I both know, people that run the challenges, they're just stealing their money. And if I could get rid of every challenge diet cleanse out there, I would, if I could.
Yeah. And it's like, it works off, like, we just go back to it works off so many emotions, and everyone wants that instant gratification, but it's just like, and like, it's just hard to explain. Like, they do work, like, you can see them work, but they just don't produce the long-term results that people actually want. Like, if you achieve something, if you're like, okay, I lost 10 kilos, that's great, but a lot of people, once they finish that, it's always that, like, now what? It's like keto at the moment, right? It's like, everyone's like, oh, I'm going to cut out carbs. I'm like, really? Like, you're going to cut out carbs for the rest of your life? Like, I would go crazy if I had to cut that out. I mean,
good luck.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you can really live, if you can really see yourself, if this is how you know if you're on the right track. If you're doing, let's say, a 90-day transformation challenge, and then you're like, you know what? I actually enjoy the way I'm eating. I'm actually, like, I like this, I can do this, and you can see yourself doing it for the next couple of years, then it might work for you. But if you're doing keto, because you're like, I want to drop this weight, and then if I asked you now, like, what are you going to do after? And you're like, I don't know. Like, what are you supposed to do in that situation? Because you can't go back to eating like you were, and now you're stuck in this, you're stuck, you're literally stuck. Like, if you go off keto, you're going to go back to where you were. So you need to have that education process in place. It's like, can I actually, like, ask yourself the question, is the diet I'm on at the moment sustainable for the rest of my life?
Yep, and if it's not, then it's not. But like you and I both discussed, it's individualized. There's keto works great for men, doesn't for women. Like, intermittent fasting, great for men, not really for women.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's all about, you hit it on the head. It's all about the application, and can you sustain it in your life environment for the rest of your life?
So
if you can't, then screw it, let it go.
Yeah, and that's where we come back to honesty, right? If you can't, that's okay. Find something else.
Yep.
Like, a lot of women who I start training, they go, oh, like, do I have to do intermittent fasting? I'm like, no. Like, I'm not forcing it upon anyone. Like, it works for me. Doesn't mean it's going to work for everyone else. And it's the same thing as, like, keto. It'll work for some people. Some people can maintain it. But a majority of people, they can't. Like, it cuts out. Like, you've also got to think about, can I go out and socialise with my friends and family? Like, I don't want to be that person sitting there, but I can't have that, or I can't have this type of thing. I mean, today when we went and had sushi, I got sashimi because I'm trying to, cut away some calories, but I still ate. It's not like I wasn't going to sit there and be like, I'm not going to eat while the rest of you guys eat, because it just feels unsociable.
Yeah, and you don't want to. You want to make sure that you're doing something that's elevating your life, not taking away from it. Even if that means like some discomfort, like with the weight loss and like having to do some certain things that might be uncomfortable to get to the end result. As long as it's elevating your life, that is what's most important. And that's what a lot of people are losing, that track of that mindset, right? Because they just want it right now. They're not looking at the long-term picture.
And that's why a lot of people give into the weekend, or they give into, like, like, if you go out with friends, like, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to have the pizza, or I'm just going to have the whatever. It's like, man, like,
I'll just have a couple beers tonight, no big deal.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's that Monday mentality, you know? Diet starts again Monday.
Yep.
And it was funny. I was talking to one of my clients the other day. He's like, "Oh, look, man, I messed up. Like, I had a bad meal." I was like, "Okay, so now what?" He goes, "Oh, I guess I'll start again Monday." I'm like, "No, you start again at your next meal. Like, if you messed up at lunch, you start at dinner. If you mess up at dinner, you start the next day. Like, there's no you don't wait another week. You just get straight back on the bandwagon, because the longer you put it off, the more it's going to hurt, the harder it's going to get on track."
Could not have said that better. 100%.
Yeah.
You gotta just get back on it. Pat yourself on the back, learn from your mistakes, move on.
Yep. And I made a video about this yesterday for my clients, because we don't have American football over in Australia, obviously, and so the Airbnb I stayed with, they had chili fried nachos with just terrible garbage food, right? But it tasted like I've never had that before, and so I couldn't control myself. I went nuts, and I'm like, you know what, guys, I fucked up. I made a mistake. What happened? They're like, "What are you gonna do?" I'm like, "What do you mean? I'm gonna get straight back on track. Like, I'm gonna get straight back on track with my diet." So the rest of the time, it's been fine. But it's like, you acknowledge that you fucked up. You don't think like, I'm gonna detox or I'm gonna cleanse or any of that shit. You just get straight back on track, and you learn from your. The biggest thing is learning from your mistake. What caused me to do that? Like, what can I make? What can I change in the future to avoid that?
Yeah, what was that behavior and why?
Yeah.
And understanding that. And then with you being honest with yourself, with other people, that's the credibility that everybody needs to see in a coach.
Yeah.
Because we're not perfect. We mess up all the time.
That's the biggest thing. Like, and like, I don't know any coach who's 100% perfect, right? So like, we're not fucking robots. Things are gonna happen. Things are gonna come up. It's just life. Temptations are gonna come up.
Yep.
Sometimes you're gonna have low willpower, and you just give in. You go, well, I learned from it, type of thing. What am I gonna do from now?
Yeah, 100%. You just gotta get back on track.
Exactly. So
Proud of you for eating all that cheese.
man, I was like, whoa, I was so just bloated afterwards, but man, you guys have some good food over here, I'll tell you that much, hey. It's completely different from like back over in Australia, but you learn from it.
You'll learn.
So obviously talking about how we can start working on fixing our metabolism, if we're going to look at investing in a coach, making sure we're doing that back-end research, doing the 90-90, like a bit of research, and just finding more about that person.
Yeah.
What are some other, what is one more strategy we could talk about? Working on our mindset, more like for this long-term thing, like what is another tactic that you teach clients when it comes to like just playing that long-term game?
And playing that long-term game, what I implement with them is called the DAC, the Daily Agreement Card.
Okay.
And so what this teaches them is the night before, there's rules to it. So the night before, they're going to write out their agreement. So the more, if you keep promises to everybody else, like it's easy, right? Make promise to people, but the one person that we constantly make promises to is ourselves. So how do we create confidence and independence? It's making promises to ourselves and holding ourselves accountable to those promises.
Okay.
So with this daily agreement card, so you're going to get a stack of note cards, and the night before, you're going to write out your agreements for the next day. So whether anywhere from like 5 to 10 agreements that you're going to maintain, whether that's getting up and saying, I'm going to have my lemon water and ginger at 5 a.m., then I'm going to create this content piece, but you have to be specific.
Okay.
I'm going to drink 90 ounces of water. I'm going to get 120 grams of protein in.
Exactly specific.
Very specifics. Yep. And then you have that made the night before. Then the next day, you have your day, and you're checking those off. Then you're going to count wins and losses. So if you have done and completed everything on your agreement card, you get a win. And you're going to count these wins. And then when you go to bed at night, okay, you're going to create your next agreement card for the next day. Let's say you have a loss, you fall off the Richter scale. You have to look at, why did I have that loss? Why did I not keep that promise to myself? What behavior do I need to change the next day? And then you're going to make that, and then you're going to do it the next day. And so over time, the more promises that you keep to yourself, then you're not going to break your promises. It all of a sudden becomes subconscious that no matter what you put down on that card, it's going to get done because you made that promise to yourself. So, daily agreement cards.
That is awesome. That is really cool. It's actually funny because we do a similar, I do a similar thing with our mutual friend Craig Valentine. Like, he talks about doing the reflection the night of,
Yes.
What went well today, what went bad today, what can I improve next time? So, like I talked about the chili cheese nachos. So what I actually had to do was talk to my Airbnb host, and I just said, hey, look, can you not offer me any more? He goes, oh, sorry, I didn't realize. I said, look, I just can't control myself. And once I had that conversation, nothing else has come up, right? And so it's like, learn from your mistake. What can I do tomorrow to better this? And when you take that, it's a 5-minute reflection, but when you come up with a strategy, it's more easy to stick to in the future, because if you don't come up with an exact answer, you don't know what's going to happen.
Nope. So you've got to make promises to yourself and keep them, because we break them to ourselves all the time. If you actually sit down and think of how many times have you said, I'm gonna do this today. Then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow, or I'll just do it tomorrow. How many times are you putting off stuff that you know you have to get done?
Yeah.
Because you're breaking a promise to yourself. But would you do that to your client? Would you say, oh, I'm gonna train you tomorrow? Or wait, no, actually, I guess what you're gonna do the next day. Can you have a successful business if you're breaking promises all the time? No.
And we are the worst for ourselves, like you said.
We are the worst to ourselves.
Yeah.
So you gotta make promises, you gotta keep them.
That's so true. Casey, that was fucking a knowledge bomb drop at the very end. I really appreciate that.
That was great. It was fun.
That was awesome. So, can you tell us a bit more about where people can find more about you? What's going on at the moment?
You can find me actually on Instagram at Casey Tom Nutrition. You can find me on my website with icannutritioncoaching.com, and find me on Facebook at iCan Nutrition.
Awesome. Guys, another episode done and dusted. This was so fucking fun. I'm going to get Casey on for a round 2. Go back and listen to it again because this was cool. Thank you, Casey.
Thank you. Bye.
Hey guys, thanks so much for listening to the episode. I really appreciate it. Now, before you go, can you please do me one favor and go to the iTunes review and leave me a 5-star rating? That way it's going to help me reach more people with their health and fitness. And if you do that, whoever leaves a 5-star rating, I'll give you a free copy of my digital book. So all you have to do is just go get a 5-star, screenshot it, send it to me via Instagram at Tyson the Trainer, and you'll get a free copy of my digital book. Thank you so much, and I'll speak to you next time.